Hey guys, and welcome to episode 5 of our Road to Glory. And this episode, oh boy, do I have some content for you guys. So as you can see on your screen, this is the big investment we made at the end of last episode. Riyad Mahrez, and I'm going to tell you why. Look, this game, as far as I've played and I've watched a lot of other videos, everybody says the most important thing is acceleration and pace. Mahrez has 88 acceleration. And he plays in the Premier League and from Manchester City. So honestly, I think it's going to be a very usable player this year again. Especially with the finesse being somewhat, usable again this year. Mahrez's curve is absolutely insane, so he's a good investment. And what you guys just saw there was our very first inform of the, year. Nian from Metz. Not sure if he's too usable, but he's got insane pace. So he actually ends up being used in our team for a couple rival matches. We also pick up Lasagna, which is going to be a super great super sub with that pace, instant impact off the bench. So after this somewhat decent pack pull, we went on to designing and customizing, our stadium and all the new effects, the sound effects, the stadium seats and all that. I don't know, because why not? I had nothing really in mind to do, so I was like, while I think of things, I'm just gonna mess around and have fun with that. So we just messed around with a couple stadium stuff, and after that we dive into gameplay settings. So you guys can see my custom tactics on board, which, as you can see, I wasn't quite sure. I'm trying something completely new. Not a formation I've really ever played, but hey, I was looking up a couple other YouTubers, a couple other websites and stuff like that, just to see somewhat what people were using. So I have a general custom tactic and then the custom tactic for individual players and all that. So it's going to be up on the screen for you guys to see, and you guys, as time goes, we'll see how it plays out, and I'll let you guys know as we enter games and if we win them or lose them, and maybe what to improve next time, and maybe which players work with it and which players don't exactly work with it. The first thing you're going to notice, I'm changing up essentially my aggressive nature and my aggressive play style. I'm trying to go for a more balanced and more constructive play, which will mean I'm essentially less open at the back. So what I was trying to establish was a shape in which when we're attacking, we're not overcommitting, because that's my biggest problem, getting caught on the counterattacks. 1, my defending sucks. 2, people are really good at dribbling, especially with that new agile dribbling. It's hard to tackle them. So most of the time, my possession is way lower than my opponents. So if I can minimize the counterattacks I take and concede, I think this will benefit us in the long run. And essentially, everything you do at the early game is always to work on the long run. Because if you can't establish your basics and your basic gameplay, your basic structure for your team at the start, then essentially the rest of your journey is going to be screwed. Which is why I am not afraid to concede big goals. I'm not afraid to lose games at the start of FIFA, because I am just testing out everything in order to find something that works for me. And trust me, in this episode, I think we take about 15 L's. Literally 15 losses in a row. I'm not going to show you most of them. I'm only going to show you a couple of the really, really bad ones. And yeah, you can see it's just a lot of grinding. Yes, it's going to be mentally straining because you're always losing and stuff like that. But hey, you're losing, but you're learning at the same time, which is arguably more important. So honestly, guys, don't be afraid to lose if if it actually benefits you, if you're trying something new. Because yes, it could be helpful to try it in squad battles and all that, but you're not playing against an actual opponent, so you never know how it's actually going to play. So that's just a bit of advice that I'm giving to you guys. Stop caring so much about your record. If you really want a good record, just go on amateur or professional and hit those squad battles games, and honestly, you'll be fine with your record. So in between a couple games, I was also looking at positions I wanted to improve the team on. We put in Dimitri Payet last episode, and honestly, he's not good enough. He doesn't make the cut. He's too slow. Yes, I think he might be better as a cam, maybe in a formation like a 4-1-2-1-2, where you don't have to run as much, because his passing and shooting is pretty decent. But other than that, his pace is it's just too slow for this FIFA out wide. In addition to that, what have we invested in? We also put essentially Nayan back right into the squad as a starting 11, and is he good? He's, I don't know, maybe not for my playstyle. He might be good in a single striker formation though, because he's tall and somewhat pacey, so he can win the headers. But as a two-man attacker, I'm not sure if I like him. For me, he's too sluggish on the ball. He's not agile. His balance is a little all over the place, and yeah, it's not exactly great. But oh well. So we also ended up signing, I think, our next superstar for the team, Gelson Martens. This man with 94 pace, I think 93 acceleration, and 5-star skills. Insane. The amount of chances we get thanks to this man's, instantaneous speed is just insane. Essentially, whenever games were getting dominated, even if we're getting absolutely dominated, we stay a little more behind, a little more conservative. The moment you feed this man the ball and break the back line, it's over. Like, you'll see a lot of my goals actually start off from really deep and usually passes to like a Tal or my left back camera to a wingers. That's why I want a second fast winger on the left side as well. Because the moment you can get past the first two essentially pressing lines, that right back, you either smoke him with the feint shot or like a La Croqueta or like a McGeady spin or anything. The moment you get past him, it's over. You're in on goal essentially. You can either square it if you have another pacey striker, which we have Jonathan David, who's not too bad, and you square it across, and essentially you're in for a goal. But other than that, we also decided to go into the Tonali SBC and complete it, because after reviewing it, I was like, it's about 8-9k, and we have a lot of untradeable cards in our squad that we don't really necessarily need or use, because they're pretty terrible but high rated. So what we did, we went into this Tonali card, and if I think he gets one or two more upgrades, he's going to be an absolute beast, and I recommend you guys go get him, because he has a lot of decent links. He's being Italian and in the Italian league, and he can fit in easily in any squads. And as a CDM with 80 pace, or even more, I think he's more of a center mid, he fits that bill perfectly. Like, honestly, super sub, I bring him on if I'm struggling in the midfield. Usually I replace, not Aouar, but my left center mid, so Sanson, I believe, is who I'm playing currently, unless we swapped him off for somebody else. But essentially, he comes in for that second position. Occasionally, it might be Aouar, depending on fitness. So what you're going to see now is us diving into a couple division rival gameplay, and yep, it's basically butt kicks everywhere. Every game sucked. Every goal I conceded hurt. And in the end, it's almost like, oh, whatever, I'm used to it. But you'll see Kara this episode scores a couple bangers. It's pretty funny. But other than that, like, hey, what can you expect when you're always changing formation between game or between halves? Like, you're expecting to lose, especially with players who have like much stronger teams. I linked a couple of the team sheets before each game, and you can see like they have decked out Premier League meta players, and it's just too hard to play against. And these guys, to be fair, are good players too. But if I had an actual somewhat decent squad set out with players I'm used to playing with, the formation I'm used to playing with, the tactics I'm used to using, then I think we probably could have fared better. But oh well, it's things that happen. We end up signing our new goalkeeper to replace Areola. I was pretty tired. I think this was more of a we lost so many games, I'm just going to change it up because I'm done seeing Areola picking up the ball at the back of the net. So essentially we switched to Mike Magnan as our goalkeeper. And to be fair, he's alright, but he doesn't really last until the end of the episode. And you guys will see why. So now we're just going to see, I think, 2 or 3 more games of gameplay. Essentially, it's not great, but hey, we're learning. See, most of the time I'm swapping Onyekuru. I believe I most likely probably butchered that name instead of Payet, because it's just unusable, I think, for me, honestly. And which comes to the next point. We end up signing a new left mid, which is Simon from Nantes. Just essentially a duplication of our right mids, Martens. They're just both super pacey, and this is essentially our new playstyle. We're going to be playing with left mids and right mids, or left wingers and right wingers that are super pacey. And up front, we're going to play, if we're playing dual strikers, like we currently are, we're going to play 2 pacey ones, not 1 target man. But otherwise, if we're switching to a different formation with a single striker, we might go for somebody that's less slow and maybe taller, to abuse the header meta, which is the next point I'm about to bring up. If you go into your settings, your game settings, you want to turn off automatic headers or assisted headers or whatever. Turn on manual heading. You guys saw it in the trailer. Manual heading is a thing this year. It's very usable, and you might struggle at the start. You'll probably literally blow a bunch of chances, but hey, if once you master this technique, honestly, you're just going to reap the benefits, because being able to place the header exactly where you want the ball to go is just perfect. And it brings back essentially the crossing meta that we had in, FIFA 18, I believe. And yeah, so it's honestly, it can develop a new aspect to your game, and you can only benefit from it. And somewhere in the middle of these games, you'll see our first rage quit of the series, and nope, it's not from the opponent, it's from me. Honestly, guys, this was with 3 hours left on Rivals to get rewards, so I had no chance to really, I guess, focus and actually play out the whole game to get a couple points. Because for me in Division 5, if you start losing games, you gain, I think, around 15 to 18 points. And towards the, I guess, grand total, it doesn't really do anything, especially towards the 2,000 points you need for weekend league qualification. Which is why you want to qualify in upper divisions, so that you have to play less games and you can make it easily. But hey, we suffered in our first couple games. We were stupid in the decisions we made and just diving into the games. It's probably just, I guess, the level of enthusiasm and eagerness to, start playing competitively again got the better of me. But oh well, we learn. And honestly, if I could restart, if we could just go back a week or so, I wouldn't mind taking it. But oh well, hey, I'm pretty happy. We got decent pack luck at the start, Richarlison and all that, so I can't really complain. Out of all the other previous FIFAs, I think this FIFA allows you to develop the fastest with all the coin boost you can get, especially from division rivals, squad battles, and all that. There's many, and especially objectives. There's a lot more ways you can make coins, and it's much easier to get started, which is why you're also going to face much better teams early on. But oh well, it happens. If you benefit, everybody else has to benefit. We're playing the same game, which is, fair enough to me. I'm enjoying it. So we're just going to, keep grinding. So here you can see one of our objectives. I'm not sure which one it was. I don't remember, but we managed to pack Koke. And honestly, yes, you're 85 rated from Atletico Madrid. Wow, this man's not hyped. How come? Because there's another Spanish midfielder, exactly the same position, center mid, Marcus Llorente. And he's worth about 6 times more than Koke, and he's 82 rated. So that's a little frustrating, because at this point, I'm never going to use Koke. I'm not planning on building into a La Liga squad. And, I can't really sell him, because first of all, he's untradeable anyways. And he's not really usable, in my opinion, but Marcus Llorente would have been a really good super sub. But hey, you win some, you lose some, we can't really complain. So as you guys just saw, this is when we pick up Moses Simon. I believe his name is Moses, but we pick up Moses Simon, and he becomes absolutely a crucial aspect of our game. So essentially, my playstyle currently is starting really essentially passing it out from the back. Because, it's not my choice, because we get pushed so much, we end up usually conceding corners or goal kicks. So, hey, yeah. We push out from the back with our right backs and left backs. Essentially, you'll see I use quite a bit is a corner tactic, in which you take the closest man to the corner, and I drag him out towards essentially the halfway line and on the sideline. So I take one of my bigger players once the cross comes in, and then I clear it down essentially out wide, and hopefully he's there to pick up the ball. If my goalie catches it, same story, I throw it out wide, and we move on from there. And this is when essentially we break the first 2 lines of pressure. With Moses Simon and Gelson Martens, and that pace, you can literally bolt down the line, and hopefully at the other side of the pitch, right in front of goal, you meet your other, winger. And then you just square the pass, and then, you be sweaty and take the goals. But hey, this is, FIFA 21, this is FIFA in general, and this is FIFA competitively. Everybody sweats, don't feel bad, it's fine. Unless you're playing with a friend, then yeah, you guys, maybe be more lenient and, and more flamboyant in your play style and all that. But hey, it doesn't matter, honestly, you take every goal you can get. That's the rule of FIFA. And, I came up against this squad and I was like, wow, a bronze squad. Hell yeah, our first win. Easy points. But nope, this person just joins and then just quits. Because essentially he just wants to get a couple more points. He's probably on the borderline of his next rank. Therefore, I'm like, fine, I'll take the small 200-300 points. And to be fair, what I was thinking was I could do that myself. I could just, connect my, game to my 3G or 4G on my phone, and then swipe airplane mode, disconnect, game disconnects, everybody gets whatever, 130 coins or whatever, and then we get this small bonus of, towards our weekend league rack. But I'm like, nah, that's not fun. If you're actually going to try hard in that sense, then honestly, that's on you. If you don't really want to play the game for actually playing the game, there's no real point in my eyes. But yeah, so we ended up just actually grinding. Mentally, it was tough. It was very tough trying to just keep pushing. And essentially, I set myself a goal. Reach rank 3, you can reap the benefits of 30,000 coins. Yes, I say 30,000 coins because as rewards, we don't actually end up picking the packs. And here's why. For me currently, our team is good for our first week. We are no way in any shape ready for second week or weekend league. So I thought to myself, all the money we've essentially used so far, we've put straight into investment. And don't get me wrong, we've made a couple really good investments. We're making money, essentially, it's building. It's essentially imagine real life. You're putting money in the bank, you're letting it sit there. and it's just working itself. It's developing into a bigger sum for the future. But I'm thinking to myself also, if I'm waiting too long for the future, we're not going to get anywhere in the short run, and people's teams are insane already at this stage. So what we did is we took the coins, and then we're going to invest in the backline. We managed to pick up bangers, Kimpembe and Navas, and on the side we invest in Donnarumma because he links to Sandro Tonali, and I think it's a good link through Romagnoli, and I think that's going to be peas. So honestly, if you guys want, I suggest you look into different aspects like this. You look at what SBC players are being used and potential links. That's where I invest. That's how I invest. And in the end, we also ended up picking up a couple Ferran Torreses because I still can't believe this 81 rated Spaniard from Manchester City with good acceleration. 4-star is only worth about 1k. It's just shocking to me. So I invest in a bunch of him. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And next episode, boy, it's exciting. It's ones to watch. So don't miss it out. Don't miss out. Oh my god, I just messed up. And hey, everybody take care. Peace.